its opening address.
Slow and easy, Junior.
The case is unusual in that the defendants are charged with crimes committed in the name of the law. These men, together with their deceased or fugitive colleagues, are the embodiment of what passed for justice during the Third Reich. The defendants served as judges during the period of the Third Reich. Therefore, you, Your Honors, as judges on the bench, will be sitting in judgment of judges in the dock. And this is as it should be. For only a judge knows how much more a court is than a courtroom. It is a process and a spirit. It is the house of law. The defendants knew this too. They knew courtrooms well. They sat in their black robes and they distorted, they perverted, they destroyed justice and law in Germany.
The prosecution will please watch the light. The interpreter cannot follow you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. They distorted, they perverted, they destroyed justice and law in Germany. Now, this in itself is undoubtedly a great crime. But the prosecution is not calling the defendants to account for violating constitutional guarantees or withholding due process of law. The prosecution is calling them to account for murder, brutalities, torture, atrocities. They share with all the leaders of the Third Reich responsibility for the most malignant, the most calculated, the most devastating crimes in the history of all mankind. And they are perhaps more guilty than some of the others, for they had attained maturity long before Hitler's rise to power. Their minds weren't warped at an early age by Nazi teachings. They embraced the ideologies of the Third Reich as educated adults when they, most of all, should have valued justice. Well, here they'll receive the justice they denied others. They'll be judged according to the evidence presented in this courtroom. The prosecution asks nothing more.
Herr Rolf will make the opening statement for the defense.
Hohes Gericht, meine Herren Richter.
May it please the tribunal.
Es ist nicht nur eine große Ehre,
It is not only a great honor,
sondern eine ebenso große
but
Herausforderung
also a great
für
challenge
einen Advokaten,
for an advocate
diesem Gericht bei seiner Aufgabe zu
to aid
helfen.
this tribunal in its task.
Die gesamte zivilisierte Welt
The entire civilized world
wird diesem Prozess folgen.
will follow closely what we do here,
Denn es ist kein gewöhnlicher Prozess
for this is not an ordinary
in
trial
seinen üblichen abgesteckten
by any
Grenzen.
means of the accepted parochial sense.
Der anerkannte Sinn dieses Gerichts
The avowed purpose of this tribunal
is broader than the visiting of retribution on a few men. It is dedicated to the reconsecration of the temple of justice. It is dedicated to finding a code of justice the whole world will be responsible to. How will this code be established? It will be established in a clear, honest evaluation of the responsibility for the crimes in the indictment stated by the prosecution. In the words of the great American jurist Oliver Wendell Holmes, this responsibility will not be found only in documents that no one contests or denies, in It will be found in considerations of a political or social nature. It will be found, most of all, in the character of man. What is the character of Ernst Janning? Let us examine his life for a moment. He was born in 1885, received the degree of Doctor of Law in 1907, became a judge in East Prussia in 1940. Following World War I, he became one of the leaders of the Weimar Republic and was one of the framers of its democratic constitution. In subsequent years, he achieved international fame, not only for his work as a great jurist, but also as the author of legal textbooks which are still used in universities all over the world. He became Minister of Justice in Germany in 1935. If Ernst Janning is to be found guilty, certain implications must arise. A judge does not make the laws, he carries out the laws of his country. The statement, "My country, right or wrong," was expressed by a great American patriot. It is no less true for a German patriot. Should Ernst Janning have carried out the laws of his country? Or should he have refused to carry them out and become a traitor? This is the crux of the issue at the bottom of this trial. The defense is as dedicated to finding responsibility as is the prosecution. For it is not only Ernst Janning who is on trial here. It is the German people.